So you are live.
We are live.
What the computer is
live.
telling us.
Yes.
Hi. You is live.
Welcome to everybody.
Welcome to everybody
who's here in the chat. Yeah.
Oh yes.
This is not part of the podcast yet, but I just wanted to say hi.
Yeah,
to you guys.
little hi.
Yeah, a little bit of an intro,
little greeting and all that.
Thanks
for joining us tonight. I don't know if it's late for some of you. I mean, some of you on the East Coast, or I don't know. If you're on the other side of the world, then it's early, probably, right? Like, yeah. So.
Thanks for being here, whatever time it is. And this is the second live podcast that we've ever done, ever.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last one was for Incredibles 2, which I think you accidentally deleted the video.
Just now.
Like, yeah.
I'm sorry. But the podcast is still up, so that's what matters.
Yeah. But so just don't delete this one on accident.
I won't delete this one on accident. This is going to be a moneymaker.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm going to not read the comments. I'm sorry, everybody who's commenting and wants me to read it. My beautiful bride, Kim, is going to moderate them. So say only nice things, and then she'll relay them over to us when we're ready. Because I think that was with the... I'm sorry, I'm also itching my nose.
Let's try to not,
try to look nice. Usually when I do podcasts, I don't wear clothes. I just chilling.
That's not true. He is clothed.
But this podcast has to be ready. So I'm sorry, but I got allergies, man.
Come on, we're inside. What could you be allergic to?
The inside.
Anyway, so I think we're going to do these for every future Pixar movie that comes out. We'll do a live podcast after our first viewing.
Or second.
Well,
in
second.
This case.
In this case, it is second because we got an early screening viewing.
It's not going to be a broadcast. We're not going to just talk about how we saw it early.
Yeah.
You seem shorter. Do you want to be taller when we go?
Here we go.
Okay.
Oh. Not really. That's about as tall as it goes. You can lower the... Why? How are you? Like, I guess I just slouch.
We're fine. We're okay. Yes. So the actual podcast is going to start soon. I was just saying that I'm not going to read the comments, but during the Incredibles one, everyone over there sort of just became our fact checkers. They just had the right names of the characters and the right actors and everything.
Cool. Okay.
So you can do that if you want. Also, obviously, say what you thought and.
Let's get a dialogue
and you
going.
can wave at us or shout at us.
Yeah, if there's something really good that.
No, I mean we can. Well, you can also see once we get.
Yeah, I can see. Something.
It's not started yet. This is just prep. I'm prepping you, the audience, because the actual podcast is going to start.
There will be spoilers in this.
Oh yeah, that goes without saying. Didn't I put that in the title?
I guess.
It says spoilers, right? That's in the description.
Oh, okay. So, yes.
Of course.
You probably want to see the movie first.
Well, that's why we waited till Monday.
Yeah.
Everybody who really cares and is a fan of ours probably has seen it. Probably. Though I met a couple people who were waiting for significant others, and I'm sorry. Okay, are you ready to start the actual podcast?
I have pressed the record button.
Okay, now I gotta cut this out.
This is...
That's not how we want to start, is it? Okay, welcome to Quest for the Best. That's our podcast. And if you're watching it live on YouTube, welcome to that.
Yeah.
The sound will be so much crisper if you listen to it.
I know.
Later.
It's just, it'll be like, you can...
Right, you can really hear all the crispness is really the word I was looking for. But
crisp.
If it'll be far less live.
That's true.
Yeah, that can only happen once.
Okay, so we... are going to be talking about Toy Story 4, the movie.
We made it to that fateful day where the movie has been out and we've seen it. I was dreading it. I had, I think, 7 or so different nightmares about it.
See, I didn't have nightmares. I just had dreams of watching it, and it was just like, I don't know. I can't really remember, really. It was, for some reason, the only one that was really bad was, I had a dream where I was watching it, but, for some reason, I was at my house, and, and the movie was just playing on everything was and things were happening. I was like, why is this where I am when I'm watching the movie? This is the movie. Why am I in this terrible setting? And then oh man, it was hard to focus on it, and it was
yeah.
But anyway,
well, that wasn't real. That's just a dream, and it didn't even happen.
So what's the point?
Yeah. Okay, so the movie starts, and we have notes. Don't look at my notes. You can. This is visual too for the second time ever. So if I'm doing visual jokes, or it'll only work on the live stream, or the replay of the live stream. But
okay, so let's get into it. We want to talk about all the good things first, right?
Because there's bad things to say about it. What?
Oh.
You've already seen, hopefully, our overview, spoiler-free review from the first time that we saw the movie, and I'm sticking to that. We saw it a second time, and I was right, and I did like it more the second time.
So did I.
Knowing what to expect, I enjoyed it more.
Mm-hmm. But it didn't mean it still didn't have the same problems like it did.
Right. So
yeah. So
it started, and I thought it was great.
Yeah.
We were talking about how we weren't sure about how the opening would go, just because the openings are great and the endings of all the other movies.
Right. That was like the first question. It's like, man, how are they even gonna open this movie? Like, we've got 3 awesome openings to in the last 3. So it's like, how can they? But they did a great job with the opening to this movie. I think it was like the best way to go. Of course, they hit you right with the feels where you got a friend of me, and it was great seeing that now. With Bonnie playing with Woody,
and hearing You've Got a Friend of Me.
Yeah. Hearing You Got a Friend of Me now with Bonnie playing with Woody.
Recap for anybody that might have missed Toy Story 3.
Yeah, quick little recap.
Bonnie? Okay, got
quick
it.
little summary of So that was great. Like, I really liked the opening of it. To back up even a little bit more, before the movie even begins, I like how this time they didn't do that. Hi, we're the Pixar animators. Thanks for watching the movie where we made this, and
it's really good. Look at all the lights.
I hope they stop that trend, because
I talked about this with the Pixar post on their live stream, and they say they like that. I think there's a select group of people in the world that like that. I don't, and I said that to them. Like, I don't like.
And it doesn't mean that I don't like the people who are behind the scenes of this.
Yeah, I know there's a behind the scenes. This is in fact animated.
Yeah.
So I know somebody made.
I'm not wanting to see that right before the movie.
Right.
I mean,
I'm ready to watch the movie right now.
Yeah.
A sad note: there wasn't a short film.
Yes, that was
But it seems like they're just gonna only do streaming shorts.
Yeah, times are changing. Yeah.
I'm a little sad about that, but also not terribly surprised. I think if they're gonna try to do 2 movies every other year or every year, eventually the shorts just won't stick around. I think because the shorts originally were made to learn new techniques of like fur or water or whatever, and now they kind of just mastered everything. It's really to test out new directors.
Get some of the underdogs and the up and comers, and
they can do that. They made the whole Spark Shorts program to do that, so they can still do that.
Some more good things. Of course, one of the most biggest highlights I can say about the movie, and we already said in the other short review, is Forky is a wonderful character. I enjoyed every scene Forky was in. I think the voice acting and just his character was great. Just the animation, man. I just love, like, my favorite. When they're walking down the road, and he's like, oh man, I can watch like a loop of that forever. Like, it was so.
The way he doesn't bend like a normal spork doesn't bend. And you could really see his weight. Like
I know, it's just perfect. Yeah,
he was very good, and he was funny. Like, I liked him.
I think he has my favorite line in the whole movie. The funniest line in the whole movie is oh, you mean a carousel? Oh
yeah.
Oh man, I think that's my favorite line.
Yeah, me too. It seems like something we would write. Like,
it really does. Yeah, that was like yeah.
There were 2 things. 2 jokes. I'm skipping way ahead, but we're gonna just jump all over the place. That felt like something we would put in a skit. It was that, like, the merry-go-round. What? Oh, the carousel. And how are we gonna get that key? They just drop it right in front of them. Like, it made me laugh. I liked it a lot. Don't know if that was the right thing to do, but we'll get to that later.
Of course, the animation is just.
That almost goes without saying.
I know,
every
you can't
Pixar
help
movie, every Pixar movie now, they're never gonna go revert back to not looking beautiful.
Right? Yeah.
That almost goes without saying. So
I
where should we
did.
go next?
Well, I also liked Bonnie's dad is
Oh,
another
yeah.
great character. I'm really glad we got to see her dad. He's
He's in the background in 3, and so we know he existed, but like some people might have missed it. And yeah, I liked him a lot. He's the most relatable character there was. I don't know. I thought he was
good.
funny,
Yeah,
believable, and nice.
Yeah.
He's a kind dad. That's something you don't see a lot.
Yeah.
Or a dad at all in a Disney movie. So,
yes.
Can I say something about the beginning?
Oh yeah.
So Woody getting his face stepped on.
Uh-huh.
I heard an ad on the radio that this was cracking me up because it's an ad for the movie, and that's a visual joke. So imagine not seeing it at all, but only just hearing Buzz say, "Whoa, Woody, are you okay?" "Yeah, I got it." Like that doesn't make any sense. That's what it was so funny. Like on the radio, like I know what's happening, but like now I'm just listening to it. It doesn't make any sense. Why did they choose that to be on the radio? Like that's
I don't know. Yeah.
That's really dumb. Woody, are you okay? I don't know what just happened there. Anyways, it was funny, and I liked pretty much the first 30 minutes or so was pretty much exactly what I hoped for and perfect. I just going back to Forky, like I really like his not just his character, but like the message behind him. Like, look, you are valuable and loved not because what you are, but because of who in this case your creator like made you and loves you, and it's not because you're a spork or you're trash. It's because she does. Like she made you and she likes you. Like, it was just really nice, and it kind of reminded me of Buzz in the first Toy Story. It's like it's only the opposite. Like he thought he was the greatest, and then he realizes, no, I'm just a toy. Like I'm basically garbage. And it's like, no, your value isn't because you're a space ranger. It's because you have a kid and he loves you. Like it's just because of. It's not because of what you are. It's because you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I really liked Forky, and I'm happy with him.
Let's see. Of course, it was great to have a new Randy Newman song. Yeah.
I don't think, to me, I like it, but even Strange Things and like When Somebody Loved Me seem like, I don't know what it is. Maybe the lyrics. It's just like,
well,
it seemed a little more on the nose than those. Like, don't throw yourself away. Like, okay, like, is this because if you listen to it and you're thinking not about Forky, then it's like, what a strange song this is. Like, don't throw yourself away. Like, you have a little girl who loves you. Like, wow, like, is this singing to a sad suicidal person who has a little girl? Like, it's a little odd. I mean, that's what I thought.
Yeah, no, you're right. A little on the nose. I hear you. I get what you're saying.
So was the Bugs Life one. What's a bug? Anyways, the music was very good. If we're talking about music for a second.
Yeah, we can get into that.
I really liked. Of course, I liked the music. It was exactly the same. Like we were kind of going over what we wanted to say earlier, and I mentioned to you, Jesse. This is new for everyone else, so I don't know why I prefaced it. The musical cues were making me think of the scene that it came from the first time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, like, we get to hear the Mutants theme. At least that's what I called it. I mean, on the soundtrack, I think it's called Mutants, but it's dun 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 dun, and Woody's in the little dump truck, and he's like sneaking along, and it's like, oh, hey, it's the Mutants. That was a better scene than this, wasn't it? And so every musical cue made me think of the scene that it came from the first time, and that wasn't good because I like those scenes better. Like, for example, it played a lot, like a few times. The really exciting, like kind of scary music from the incinerator. They're running, dun, 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 and I'm like, wow, that's the music from the incinerator. That was way scarier than this. Like, it instead of helping it bring my emotions up to that level that it was in the other scene, it just made me think of the other scene that was better to me. at least.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like, what was the music of with the rocket in the first one?
Oh yeah. So when the rocket launches in the first one, that's super exciting.
Yeah.
And the music fits it perfect. And now we're watching the skunk drive through the crowd, and it's like, this is not exciting like the rocket was. Like, I'm not loving this scene as much as I love that scene.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny, but that was it. It was just like, and I think before we get really into kind of just like critiquing everything, I know we've been critiquing it a lot already, but I'll just say, like, all three of the other movies like really made a big impact on my life. It's why I want to make movies. It's like they're near flawless or flawless in my opinion. And this one was just a comedy. Like, I just today kind of realized, like, oh yeah, like the first time we heard about this, they were saying that there's going to be a Toy Story 4. They were saying it's a romantic comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, maybe I can't be upset that there was no big climax or like an exciting action scene. But then I'm like, yes, I can. This is a Toy Story movie. Like, we got to expect.
I can hold it up to the same standards because
Right.
they've proven it themselves,
right,
that they're at those standards.
right. And a lot of people were saying, like, 3 ended it perfectly. We'll talk about the ending later. I don't want to talk about it yet. But I thought it was a stretch to go from 2 to 3, and then I was pleasantly surprised.
Mm-hmm.
And now 3 to 4, I was like, okay, like, I don't know, like, are you really gonna risk this?
Yeah.
And they went for it.
And I feel like I don't feel any different now than I did when I first heard about the movie coming out. Like, my emotions are still the same. It's just okay. And even after seeing it, nothing's really changed. I'm still like, okay.
Yeah.
The only difference is now I've seen the movie,
Right,
but like, it's still that, like, okay, Toy Story 4. All right, yeah, okay.
All right.
Is there any more good stuff to say?
There's a lot of more good stuff to say. There's a lot of cool Easter eggs. That doesn't really make a good movie. The eggs don't make the
the omelet.
The omelet. Wait. No, they do make omelets.
I was hoping a cool phrase would just come out.
I know. Well, I was gonna say egg salad, but if a movie was an egg salad, the Easter eggs wouldn't be the eggs. Anyways,
I'm not quick enough to have completed that phrase. I'm sorry.
Easter eggs don't make a movie, but if you are into Easter eggs, that's a great movie to watch.
Yeah.
Like, I spotted a lot.
I will say, I like the whole carnival atmosphere and everything. That was a cool. The design of it was great. And
I was thinking, speaking of the carnival, we can kind of talk a little bit about the new characters. I think I could say, except for Ducky and Bunny, who we can talk about in a second, I liked all of the new characters better than all of the Toy Story 3 new characters. So maybe not everyone will disagree or will agree, but maybe not everyone will disagree.
There's not a lot of new characters.
That's what I like.
At least like fully fleshed out ones. There's really not a lot.
That's what I like. In Toy Story 3, there's a lot of new characters that have names and, Whoopi Goldberg voice. Like there's like names attached to the names that the characters, and they all speak and they all do something. Like we got all the Sunnyside crew and all of the Bonnie's Toys crew, and I don't really love any of them. They're all just okay.
Yeah.
And in this one, I really liked Forky, and I also liked Duke Kaboom quite a lot.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I would say I liked the new guys more than. I mean, yeah, I liked all the. I don't know. I don't know if I can agree 100%.
Okay, that's fine.
Although I do love Forky, yeah, that's true.
You can agree with Forky.
But then you have like Giggle McDimples, which I feel like it was a really forgettable character. Like she was kind of there, but
she did have a purpose, and it was so that Bo Peep could say what she's thinking.
Right. Well, other way around. She says what Bo Peep is thinking, basically.
Giggle does?
Isn't that what you meant to say?
No. Well, Peep needs to vocalize how she feels and what she's thinking. And
Giggle's
got to be the one to ask the questions.
Oh, now I see what you're saying.
Right?
Still, yeah, it gets
a
Peep's thoughts out
right
through her in a sense.
Right. And then
especially more towards the end when she's like,
yeah. Well, they also split up, and Giggle helps them get back together, like she knows where they're going. That could have easily been done with Bo saying, like, hey, meet us in the back by the pinball machine.
I just don't remember any, like, real, what was her, like, scene or, besides being introduced to her and getting swallowed by the cat. I feel like that was the only two things I really can remember from her,
Right.
But we can talk about Ducky and Bunny, because I think we have a little bit of a
different opinion.
Yeah, now
it's always interesting when we have a different opinion. It doesn't happen very much, but when it does,
overall, I liked Ducky and Bunny. I'm a Key and Peele fan, so they kind of, got me on that, part of it. And I had, genuine laughs from them. And just the design of them is really nice to look at. I just like the nice.
Don't steal that nice thing to say, because that's the only thing I have nice to say. Well, no, I go ahead. You can finish, but I really like the way they look. I like their design. I like that they're stuck together. That was one of my favorite designs of any characters. That there's two and they're stuck together, and that and their voices were good. Like Key and Peele did good, and I like the little hook on his head and the tag, like stuff like that. Is there a relevant comment?
Not really. There's people are getting upset because we're not reading the comments, but all the comments.
Whoopsie! Sorry, we got so much. There's a lot
people
that we
are
have.
Just saying, can you see comments, guys? Read the comments.
Okay. For anyone who just showed up, we are not reading the comments. They're being moderated. So if we are ready for a break, then we will listen to comments. And I don't want you to stop writing comments, and I don't want you to.
I'm sorry that I had.
Be mean, and sorry that Kim had to leave for a second. That's okay.
Sorry, we just have a lot of thoughts to get out, and it's like
and if I'm trying to read comments, I'm gonna be so distracted.
And this is gonna go on for like a long time.
Yeah. So that's the other thing I should have mentioned. The podcasts are generally limited to an hour. So if you enjoy this, you should listen to all the other podcasts later on about other movies. Okay, Ducky and Bunny.
Ducky and Bunny. Okay. I think we share the same kind of negative thoughts, which is like sometimes the jokes just were like, I don't know.
Would you like me to speak about it?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I saw the trailer that had Plush Rush in it, I hated it from the second. Like not just I don't like that. No, I hate that. Like I don't like old people being attacked. Sorry, that's not funny to me. And then it cut to like Buzz saying, "Well, we're not doing that." And it was like, okay, good. I'm glad. Don't do that. In fact, don't even do that in the movie. Like, don't show that. I don't find that funny. And that's just me. I know it got a good laugh in the theater, and I know you said it made you laugh.
It did make me laugh. Yeah. I liked it. I liked the first Plush Rush, and then watching the movie, it's like, oh, this joke's gonna keep going.
Oh no!
And then
it didn't just keep going, but it kept going again. And now when somebody asks me, "Can you do Toy Story 4?" I say, "No, we can't do that. There's an naked old lady in a bathtub." And I'm like, "What am I even watching now?" Like this.
As soon as that frame was on screen, I'm like, "What movie is this?"
Watching?
Like,
is this gonna just?
I feel like that frame is the furthest it ever got from Toy Story.
From like, what Toy Story could be or should be,
or just just Toy Story in general.
This is the least Toy Story frame in all of Toy Story.
Right. Yeah. Like, go find the most Toy Story scene ever, and this is going to be on the opposite. Is the lady in the tub?
It was. I don't know why though. Like I know why. I don't know why it made it into the movie. Like I cannot figure it out.
I think the first Plush Rush scene was funny. I think they just should have stopped it there.
But not only that, but they did it again at the end.
At the end, yeah.
And I'm just like,
and it's
like now I'm scared for Peter, my 2-year-old, to see it. Like I was like, I don't want to. Like that's scaring me now. Like I don't want him to see this. And it was just, it took it too far. I just was not a fan. Anyways, we could probably move on from that now. I just don't like that type of humor. And let's talk about the other humor that I kind of liked is Buzz's inner voice. I laughed at that the first time I saw that, which happened to be in a trailer again. I should have learned to just not watch the trailers, but I know you told me. Well, I can't not watch the trailers. It's Toy Story. They want us to see it, don't they? Anyways, that's a rhetorical question. Of course they do. And it was funny one time, then they did it again, and they did it again, and then it was his entire character. I feel like Buzz was just a little too dumb. Like he's not quite all there, but he's not like it's not like we've never seen him think deep thoughts before. We in the very first Toy Story, we see him think about his whole existence in his life, and
like not knowing what a conscience was just a little too out of character. I feel like. I mean, yeah, I just think he was a little bit of a. Yeah, just
says overplayed. You can speak up.
Toy Insanity says that inner voice was way overplayed.
It kind of was. It was his whole joke the entire way through.
The sad
Every
part
single scene of him was really just played for kind of like a laugh. I mean,
which is okay. Like Buzz was always one of the funniest characters, but it wasn't because he was dumb or he didn't know what to do. Also, not knowing what to do, we've seen him many times in all the other movies know exactly what to do.
Yeah, just go back and watch Toy Story 2, and he was a leader.
He's a great leader in that movie.
Great and serious, like more serious than this. And he knows how to handle situations. And like the thing I didn't like was like, the joke of, Ducky, like kick him in the head, right? In the trailer, it looked like, he was like oh yeah, we'll take this,
watch this,
right? Which was great. But then in the actual movie, he has to use his inner voice to be like, was like
atmosphere
is poisonous or something. So, but we see him way back in Toy Story 1 smart enough to when Woody's punching him in the head to just shut his helmet.
Right.
So like that kind of stuff, I feel like it took away a little bit of like Buzz knows he's smart enough to
right. Buzz is a pretty smart character, and he's pretty strong and a good leader. And I think the point in this one was showing that at the beginning, he's not really ready to be a leader, and at the end, he's confident. Look, I can lead these guys, Woody. It's okay. And I don't know, Buzz, because I thought you led him pretty well in the second one, but now I'm not so sure.
He's already shown leadership qualities, and then I feel like they had to. Now they backtracked a little bit and I just
wasn't a fan of how the level of dumb that Buzz was. I think it was a little out of character. Is there a nice comment you can speak up to?
Pixar Post says, good thoughts on Buzz. Thinking back, I wish he had more dynamics. Hole in One says, Buzz running out of the RV in the carnival was sick.
I can agree. That was probably the closest moment in the movie, for me at least, that I was excited and wanted to cheer, is Buzz jumping out the window and running to the carnival.
And with his theme,
Yeah. It was great.
Oh man, yeah.
And so yeah, thank you, Cole. That was a good moment. And I just think Buzz could have done a lot more. But that being said, all of Andy's toys could have done a lot more. I feel like it's
Somebody had a comment that I had.
Okay, go ahead. What's
Toy Insanity said,
Toy Insanity?
Tim Allen had a bunch of controversy recently, so they probably downplayed Buzz.
Tim Allen has a bunch of controversy recently, so maybe they downplayed Buzz, or they made him stupid because Tim Allen's stupid. That's
from their perspective.
Of course. Of course. Duh. It's. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I think it's kind of crazy, but so crazy it just might be true. We just start another controversy right now. Right? Tim, let's get your thoughts on it. He said nothing but great things about this movie too.
Okay.
And Tim Allen, I mean, but that just might be because he is getting paid for it. That could be why.
But he's also the only one he does everything.
Oh yeah, Tim Allen goes on every show. Yeah, that's true.
He's probably the most dedicated one out of all of
them. Yeah. And I think, I don't know. I just thought Buzz could have been better. So, can we talk about Andy's toys?
Yeah, Andy's toys. Yeah, I agree with you. His toy, they're Slinky and Potato Head and Ham. Those are my favorite characters. And I knew I had, especially after the first trailer, I was like, okay, they're probably gonna get the back burner in this movie and not really gonna. It looks like Buzz is gonna have the B
story.
Yeah, and then these guys are gonna have the C
story,
which is really more like the D story because Bonnie's toys are like have a little bit more.
Right. So it's no secret if you've watched a few of our things or listened to our podcast before. I don't love.
Trixie.
Yeah, Trixie. I forgot about her name. I wiped her from my memory. No, Trixie. I just find her kind of annoying. And the jokes that she says in Toy Story 3 don't make me laugh. I don't get it. Maybe I just don't get it. Maybe I'm crazy. But there were things that Trixie did or said that were funny, but wouldn't they have been better coming from one of Andy's toys, one of the characters that everybody knows and loves? Like, for example, when she is doing the voice of the what is that called? A GPS. That could have been Jessie. That could have been Mrs. Potato Head was the one listening and whispering it to her. Why didn't she just yell? She's got a great yelling voice. Like Mrs. Potato Head yelling that would have been so funny.
Yeah.
And sure, Trixie's yelling it is funny too, but I don't know, man. It seemed like all of Andy's toys got like 2 lines. And I was specifically the second time watching it, listening for them. And I'm like, can you just say something, please? Like
Rex probably had the most lines out of everyone, or Jessie, Rex got to talk a little bit. Barely heard a word from Slinky, and he's my favorite.
Right. So hardly any words from him. And so I just felt like Trixie was kind of stepping on all of Andy's toys. Like there's the shots where you see all of them like frozen on the bed, happy, and it's like Trixie's taking up so much space. Like this is, I know it's reminiscent to like all the toys on Andy's bed in Toy Story 2 at the end, but like Trixie just doesn't fit in there for me. Like I just don't like her. I'm sorry. No aliens in this movie. I know they're in the movie, but no aliens, no Bullseye. So if those are your favorite, like, sorry, like if you weren't looking for them, you might just think they weren't even there.
Yeah.
So it's a little sad. And what you were saying about the trailer, thinking that, they're going to be like on the back burner or whatever. I kind of thought they would have more based on the trailer because we got Woody saying like all their names, like Rex, Ham, Slinky, and then it's like all of the toys are back.
Mm.
Well, kind of, I guess they're
there.
They're back enough to put them on the toy.
They're back. They're just in the back.
Yeah, they're in the back. Yeah. So,
so some other like kind of little things before we get more like into the big stuff is like,
we're not in the big stuff yet.
Well, I didn't even get into Bo Peep or the crux of the movie.
The second plot.
But just like a couple of quick things is like stuff like things like I didn't like that. I think okay, never mind. That thought went nowhere.
Oh no. Well, I was okay. Are you ready to talk about Bo?
Okay, yeah, maybe we can just get there.
About when the movie got to Woody goes into the antique store, the excitement kind of died down a little bit for me, and I know you said the same. And like the antique store was a cool looking place, and I mean I liked it. But like the dummies and Gabby, I have some things to say about her. So do you want to talk about her? Go next. I'll get to Gabby later.
So I'm just gonna talk first about the first kind of big problem that I had was so like one of the big focal points in the movie is the fact that Bonnie's not really playing with Woody anymore. Right.
That's the first thing we see, and go on.
Yeah, right. So so that
it's kind of his. I mean, if we're talking about the real plot of the movie, sorry that I interrupted you. That it's Woody's story, and what is he going through? Well, that's it. He's not being played with anymore, and he feels like he's not valuable anymore.
Right. But I just feel like Bonnie's not really playing with Woody anymore. I just feel like it's too soon. Like, so this movie takes place like what? It can't take place more than maybe a year or two after Toy Story 3.
2 max.
Bonnie looks like it looks the same. So, I just feel like doesn't that kind of hurt like the ending of Toy Story 3 just a little bit? Like already she's done with Woody and she's doesn't want him anymore really, or not want him, but just he's not like her favorite toy anymore.
Right. The sad part is that it's like if you just know what happens in 4, go back to 3 and watch what Andy says about Woody. He'll never give up on you. Like
he'll be there for you no matter what.
unless you don't really like him anymore, and I guess maybe not. like what?
Yeah, so I do feel like it kind of hurts the ending of 3. If Andy would have known that Bonnie was gonna be done with him in like a year, he should have been like, wait a minute.
Okay, wait. Now,
actually, I am gonna keep this one actually because I feel like you're probably not gonna still.
Right, and the funny thing is, like Kim, my wife, said about it was that Peter, our boy, is 2. He's in preschool, kind of. He's at daycare like Bonnie was, and he forgets about toys all the time, and then picks them up later and loves them again, like in a month. Like just today, he realized, where's Woody? Like my old Woody, Big Woody is what he says. Where's Big Woody? Well, I know where he is because I was worried that he was lost, and I told him it's over there in the cabinet. Like he lost him for like almost a month, and then today I hear him dumping out all the toy boxes, and I'm like, what are you doing? I'm looking for Woody. Like, oh, I know where he is. So like, I find that really hard to buy that Bonnie was done with him. And there's examples in the movie that we talked about.
Right. Well, I can get right into that.
Yeah.
So, okay, you know what? I can, sure, whatever. If we need to just accept, I mean, the movies have already taught us, kids are going to get, done with their toys and move on.
Mm-hmm. Molly was done with the toys before Andy was.
Sure. Okay. So even if I can accept that. The problem is this movie, they were inconsistent with that because, so Bonnie takes Woody on the road trip. We see her playing with Woody and Forky, her new favorite toy. She's playing with Woody and Forky during the montage. Mm-hmm. So,
at Poultry Palace, it was a cameo.
Oh yeah,
whatever, an Easter egg.
Mm-hmm. So, I feel like, okay, you gotta pick one or the other. Either she's done with Woody, and maybe you could have had it where Woody like stowed away on the.
Right. So that's kind of how I was, and we had talked about this a little bit. Obviously, is that if Bonnie really was done with Woody, she shouldn't have taken him on the road trip.
Yeah, she shouldn't have taken him.
It could have been Woody says, "Oh, we need to make sure Forky's okay. Like I'm hiding in a backpack or whatever." He does that all the time. He goes where he wants.
But instead, they actually show us, him on the trip. She plays with him. So I'm sorry, but you just can't tell me that Bonnie's not going to be like, "Where's Woody?"
Right.
Like,
right.
If she thought
it might not be that day, but
right.
By the time she gets home, I'm sure that came up. And yeah, so
I had a little issue.
It was hard to grasp that she was done, and the other side of it was that Woody feels like he's not needed, and in Bonnie's room because Dolly is the leader there, and she's kind of being a jerk. But okay, fine. Like I said, one of Bonnie's toys, I didn't love her. She was okay. So Woody feels like he's not really needed there either because he's not leading these toys. He's just there and not being used. But I don't know. Like you see that his friends still want him to be a part of everything, right? Like Buzz and Jesse, they come over to him right as soon as Bonnie leaves the room, and it's like they still want to be a part of his life, like to have him involved and included. So like just that he's throwing himself a pity party, I guess, like, oh, nobody wants me except all my friends. Like, okay, that's all. I think that's pretty much all I had on that point.
And then there was little stuff like
oh yeah, the pin, the second she and the sheriff, she takes off the badge. I'm like, wait, that was inside. I said all that. His badge doesn't come off. It's not a pin. Like it's just simple, tiny little things. That's like, okay, I know that like this is a movie and they can do what they want, but
by now I feel like the design of the toy is already locked into place, and now they're just changing rules on us. Like, oh yeah, nope, his badge is a pin.
Right. Oh, and we can put Bonnie over his foot, and Andy's nowhere to be found. Like that. A little tiny bit made me upset because, like, in 2 especially, like we make a big deal about Andy being on his foot. Like he belongs to Andy, and I know he doesn't belong to Andy anymore. But like, there's not even like a faded remembrance of him. Like. Bonnie just like wiped it really hard until it came off. Like, there's how many little things about Woody can you change before he's not Woody anymore?
Right.
And that's kind of how I felt about his voice box too. Like, how many times has that pull string saved him? And now, like how many pieces of him are going to be gone before he's not Woody anymore? Like, I don't know.
Speaking of, and a quick little thing of like not being himself is a lot of people I think the fact that he didn't know Bo Peep's sheep's name.
I don't know. Are a lot of people talking about that? Because
I remember like when that clip first came on.
That's what I'm
Was
saying.
on. No. People. I saw people
Really?
commenting like, yeah.
Okay.
When that first clip was like, when they
Released
came
it.
online.
Yeah.
So that was just not. That was out of character. That
I thought
Woody
that
wouldn't
too.
know.
Like
the
out of
sheep's
all
names.
the people, you think all the toys, you think Woody would.
You
be
could
the
have
one to
easily
know.
just had
Buzz
say
could have said that line, like, "Oh, you don't know." And I know they did it for the joke later that he still doesn't remember their name, but like that wasn't that funny. That wasn't funny enough to break character.
Yeah.
It would make way more sense if Buzz said, "Oh, they had names because he hasn't been around the whole time." Like, yeah.
Okay, so
Most of the things that Woody did, I will say before you go on, is felt in character, and the voice acting was great, especially like all the main characters in this movie. Like, it was really good. Some of the best, I think, but I don't think that saved the script. So
okay, now the next big thing.
okay,
So Bo Peep, right? Obviously a huge part of this movie. So something just seemed a little off with
their relationship.
Yeah, well. So first of all, just I think going back to like when I first heard that this was what the movie was going to be about was like Woody and Bo Peep. I just couldn't help but feel like, well, like, oh, okay, like is this really? This was a story that we really needed to see. Was like Woody and like Bo Peep being together. Like she, barely has a whole lot of screen time in the other movies.
The other three combined, it's maybe 10 minutes total.
And I get it. Yeah, they love each other, but it's not like we've ever. It's not like they made Bo Peep be like this huge important thing to Woody.
She wasn't really important to him in the other three movies.
Right.
I mean, yes, she was important to him, but like she wasn't the reason he's going back.
And it wasn't like
home or whatever.
Yeah, and it wasn't like we've ever like Woody was torn between like, oh, is Andy the most important thing or is Bo Peep the most?
We never
got any kind of thing like that. And now to add this whole movie where it's like, oh no, it's all about Bo Peep and Woody, and like
back then,
this is a huge thing, guys.
And we do a throwback to before 3 happens, where Woody almost goes with her, and the scene he's holding onto the box and he almost gets in, and he's like, oh yeah, Andy. Like that seemed a little out of character. Like, of course, staying with Andy's the right choice. We've seen 3 entire movies about getting back to Andy. Why would he ever purposely leave Andy? We know he doesn't, and we know that staying there with him is the right choice. So fast forward to the end, and we'll get back to the end later.
Yeah. So Bo Peep, it just feel a little forced, like a little kind of just shoehorned in, like Woody cares so much about Bo Peep, like it's this is she's so vital to So I feel like just the whole premise of the movie is kind of like is this really like it didn't really feel what's the word like
warranted.
Yeah, warranted for like a movie just to get like Woody and Bo Peep together. I just didn't think that was like.
It felt a little more like a fan fiction, like, and not to bash fan fictions. I mean, that's great and fine, but like it felt way disconnected from the others, and like it almost. I had said it before, but it kind of just felt like a fun short. That like we don't really care about like where their lives go after this. It's just a short.
Right.
Like you can watch it anytime.
Well, I was talking to my brother about it, and he made the point that like this whole movie really you could have it could have just been a couple of different short films. You could have had a short about carnival toys, like that would have been fun. Like the shorts so far, they've just been like fun ways to show other types of toys,
a new type of toy,
fast
and a
food
new
toys.
location.
Yeah. So the carnival. Yeah, like you could that could have been like a short film and just have some fun at a carnival, and Buzz ends up getting or the antique shop. That could have been a cool place to have like they could have done a short film with that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could have seen another Woody, like 2 Woodies.
I don't know about that.
Some other Woody. I don't know, but no. Instead, they just kind of nope. It's just a whole feature length movie. Anyways, but getting back to Bo Peep, so There's a lot of good things about her. She
voice acting was good. That she looked really nice. Like I don't mind that she
I don't mind that
cool,
she and that her
kick
character
butt
evolved
now
into
or
this.
something.
Like,
Sure.
sure, that's fine. Okay, she was gone for 7 years or whatever. Or she hasn't had an owner for this whole time. It's not like
Sure.
her transformation is cool. That's fine. Like I don't have any problems with that. Or her being this tough, But she was a little mean to Woody throughout this entire movie. That was something I had a problem with. So,
from the very beginning, where she's in the box saying goodbye, like, you could come with me. Like, they didn't even hug. We've seen her kiss him. Like,
yeah, they didn't even kiss in this movie
or hug.
And
like, and you're trying to tell me that there's things falling down. It's fine. You're trying to tell me that that Woody feels like he needs to be with her, and she's not even barely reciprocating that feeling at all.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of affection coming from her to him.
And that's if you go back through all of our podcasts, I've talked about this before, but you can be tough and affectionate. That's okay. Was it in an effort to make her,
they didn't want to make her soft? Like, they feel like
that if she
emotions don't make you soft, it makes you
it makes you stronger.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like she was just kind of cold and mean to him the whole time. And I think my least favorite scene was when she introduces him to Duke, and then they have that little joke about I don't remember how it starts,
but he run out. Some toy ran out into the middle of the aisle.
Yeah, that sounds like something only a moron. This toy must be a complete moron. Oh yeah, he really is. Why are you being so mean to Woody right now? How's Woody supposed to know which way to go in the antiques? That was
bothered you a little more.
Yeah, that was my least favorite moment. I was like, you're being so mean. And not even that, but just before then, when they go into the club or whatever that place is with all the toys, and then they're asking you oh, is this your friend or whatever? He's
my accessory.
He's my accessory.
He's gonna hold my dress. Now.
What? Why aren't you calling Woody your friend right now? Why are you
I don't know.
It's
why.
It's like what? Woody just came back into your life and he's he's just not fitting in with your groove now, and so I don't know. She was just kind of mean to him. So you have the whole ending where he chooses her, but I feel like I don't know.
By the time we got to that point, I felt like it was the wrong decision still, because at the beginning we see that he's thinking, should I go with her? And then we know he's going to stay with Andy, and staying with Andy's the right decision, I think. And then we get to the end and it's the same scene, and we see that he picks her this time, and I still feel like that's the wrong decision, because we've seen that his friends care about him and love him, and we've seen that Bo Peep, sure, she likes him, she wants him to stay, but she's never really done anything to get him to stay or to show some affection to him or anything like that. I don't know. It still felt like a wrong decision to me, and everybody I've asked, I'm not now. I asked people what they thought who had seen it, and without saying anything, without saying things I liked or didn't like, and so far, mostly what I've heard is the same, so I don't think I'm crazy here, is that I didn't like the ending. The end. Pixar post.
Said something and says, you see her snap out of it later when she says, you gotta love him for it.
Yes, we do.
Which goes back to his loyalty, meaning his.
Mm-hmm. Right, so that is the moment we see that Bo kind of snaps out of being rude to Woody the whole time. And it's you gotta love him for his loyalty, but then it's still she still ends up pulling Woody to her side though, right, when we still you gotta love him for his loyalty, he's gonna be loyal to me. I don't know, it just seems weird. It just seems like she didn't earn it. I don't know how to explain. It just didn't feel right.
Since now we're kind of on the ending, I think we can kind of talk about the ending. I mean, yeah, I see mixed. I see a lot of people say, the ending and it's, it's so emotional. My eyes were dry the entire time.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't really feel a whole lot during this ending. I don't know. And again, I've seen maybe some people would just feel like, oh, you're just missing the whole point of the movie, if you didn't like the ending.
I disagree.
So what is the point of the movie? What's the lesson? The first time through, I don't think I tried hard enough to. I think I was too distracted by it. I'm kind of disappointed with this ending. But the second time, I'm like, all right, this time I'm really gonna try to learn what is the lesson. Maybe it is,
something good.
Right,
And maybe I missed it. Maybe of course it's got to be the right thing, because why would they make a movie of we making a big
Right.
mistake in the end?
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but like the lesson that I feel like they're really telling is like, one is like you, like don't wait around for like life to happen. You gotta just kind of go and and make, just make it happen. Don't
wait for, like you said, it's just, you said it right. Don't wait for life to happen to you. You got to go out and make something happen. Like if you don't like where you are in life, then go out and do something about it. I'm okay with that lesson, but there's another lesson on top of it. Is that what you're getting to?
Well, I guess the other one would be like if, I don't know what.
I
help
feel
help me remember what I said before.
Oh, I don't know what you said. I feel like the other lesson that it was kind of coming to is you do you. Like you just be yourself and make decisions that you want, because this is your life and no one else can make decisions for you. And I don't know if I agree with that lesson.
Or maybe it's also like, don't get stuck doing the thing you think you're supposed to be doing.
Sure.
Go chase like
what you believe in your heart.
Yeah. Those were the lessons I took away from it. But I feel like that's a little, maybe in other movies and things that aren't about toys,
Right,
that works. But this movie is about toys, and all three movies so far, all we've learned is that the most important thing to a toy is being there for a child. Like, so,
we've spent,
like, there's nothing better to a toy than like being loved by a kid, right? I mean, so,
and if Woody wasn't feeling like he was being loved, then like he's got to go be loved somewhere else. Is that the point they're getting to?
Sure, but the problem, but then I go back to,
is it not about you?
No, not that, but
okay,
but
that's what I got.
But
to.
It still bugs me though that I feel like they messed up by having Bonnie bring him on the road trip, and we see her playing with him on the road trip. So you're just gonna leave for Bonnie, like right. I still, that part still kind of bugs me, that that doesn't really make sense. That's not consistent with what they're trying to say, that Bonnie was done with Woody when she's still playing with him. So
yeah,
but
I think it's clear.
I just think the lesson can get kind of,
it got too foggy, like
because now I feel like like you can tell your kid now, you can take your kid's toy away, right, and be like, oh, that toy was he was done with you.
He really didn't.
He wanted to just move on now and do his own stuff.
Right.
Or if a kid wants a new toy for some toy, you're like, no, that toy, nah, he doesn't want an owner. He wants to be like Bo Peep and just kind of have fun adventure. Sorry,
that's okay.
I feel like I just feel like it lost a little bit of the message that's always been there's nothing wrong with saying that toys
need an owner.
Yeah, I mean,
if you're trying to translate it into like a lesson for adults and people, like that you got to own yourself. Like, I don't know if that's like something I agree with. Like to have to, how do I say it? It's like, it's a Toy Story, like most of them, at least to some point, is like, it's about like your identity, right? So it's like who you are. Does it come from like what you're made for, or who you're made for, or what the things that you can do, your achievements, and it all always in Toy Story will go back to like, yeah, you belong to that kid. That's who you are. And in this one, it's like, or not, whatever. Like all the other three, like it's and especially the end of 3, like Woody's loyal. He he's gonna
that's where I feel like
he's gonna be there for you. Like but maybe
now here's the next movie where he's not gonna do that. Right. It's just
it kind of hurt my soul.
Oh, and then we have, so the other thing is now it's his goodbye with Buzz, right? And I just feel like, did the writers just think like, well, we got to have some kind of emotional ending. You know, we already had him say goodbye to Andy. What's next? You know, like they're just kind of checking off the list. Oh, now we have to have the farewell with Buzz. Yeah, split up Woody and Buzz.
Right.
Like,
that'll make them.
No, you don't. You don't have to split up Woody and Buzz. Like,
Well,
did they do it because they just like? Are you just trying to get us to cry? Just
maybe
like,
I don't know. Most of 3 was about like, okay, like Andy's going away. Okay, so Woody has to be okay with that, but he's not losing like himself, like his self, his sense of self or whatever. He still has his friends. Buzz says, you know, what's important now is that we stick together, and in the end, they do. And so,
Pixar Post has something.
Pixar Post has a interesting, worth reading thing.
It says it's all about parenting. Woody had to let go of having a kid. Woody had to let go of having a kid, just how parents have to let go of their kids. It's about aging and entering a new phase of life. The next phase is tough, but comes whether or not you like it or not. Whether you like it or not.
Okay, I hope you all could hear that. It's a message from Pixar Post about that the message is about parenting and letting go of your kid. And I don't know. I'm sure you are right. I mean, it sounds right to me. I think 3 kind of did that better. I mean, maybe this time like Woody wasn't expecting it, or the kid didn't really need him anymore, so he kind of felt like harder giving it up. I did sort of like how Woody was like the dad for Forky, like dragging him along and carrying him along and like explaining how life works and stuff.
I guess the thing is like that message is fine, but since we're talking about toys, like, doesn't a toy just look forward to his next owner? Okay, yeah, so now he's done. Sure, Bonnie doesn't really need him, but I feel like they're changing the thing of like, you know, the toy should just be excited to, you know, like, you know, I don't know, like go find a new owner or something.
Ready for the next part of their life.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's not what they went with. But
yeah, it's not how they went. Okay, we're coming up close to the end of the episode, and we can take some things from the crowd here because this episode's live, or
there's still more to say.
There's still more to say. say what you had left, because I pretty much covered everything I really wanted to talk about. There was little things that I did like.
We could talk about Gabby Gabby because we didn't.
Oh no, we forgot to talk about her.
Yeah.
KRS Studio says Gabby Gabby needed some development.
Gabby Gabby needed some development. That's a good, concise way to say it.
So I will say, for one, I'm glad there wasn't a twist villain. Like,
yeah,
thank you for not doing that. There was a twist that involved the villain. It was basically the scrolls from Captain Marvel. You know how the bad guys actually. No, yeah, they're actually like, you know, whatever. They're not like bad.
Not really though. I wasn't convinced that she wasn't bad. That was her problem with me, at least. I think that she
didn't do anything to really redeem her character, except for all she did was explain her motive. No, see, I'm ripping out your voice box and I'm, you know,
and I'm holding
kidnapping and stuff. Yeah, just because I want to be with a kid.
And then it's like, I understand that feeling.
Okay, you are, yeah.
It was like, it's almost like I was trying to figure out like why it was wrong. It just felt wrong. It's like, look, I need your kidney. I am going to steal your child and hold him captive until you give it to me. But I really need it, and you're done with yours. So, like, please. And then, like, I would have been okay with Woody giving the voice box to her if she would have given Forky back and said, look, I was wrong. Like, I shouldn't have forced you anything. Like,
instead she like backs him into a corner with all her guards.
You better give me this. And Woody's like, oh, I guess I can give you this. Like, of course he's gonna do that. Like, he's up against the wall with the dummies after him. Like, it didn't feel like a sacrifice from Woody. It felt like he was forced to do something terrible.
Like that doesn't redeem. That doesn't. You're not a good character just because your motives are good. She still was doing bad things, so it's like that doesn't just fix that. Right. Oh, because your motive is like good, so
like because the main character can relate to your motive, he has the same motive that you do. That's okay now that you chose to be the villain, basically. Like she was very villainous, and she never like even in the end when Woody's like when after she gets dumped, and Woody's like trying to explain to her, she never says. She does say, "I guess I don't need this voice box now." Did she ever say sorry? She did. No, I don't think so. So yeah, I did not care for that. It felt like it just felt like she's still the villain, even though like she gets a happy ending. She still felt like it was like she's doing the wrong thing. Like,
Do you think KRS Studio
says
Gabby should have had a backstory? That would have been good. Do you think if they would have explained a little bit, besides that she was defective?
right. If they had explained a little bit, if she had a backstory. No, I'm sticking with what I said. what I said was, if she would have basically repented of her evil. Like if she would
Really,
have
she
said,
didn't-
I mean that's
the thing is,
like a weird
all she
way
did
to say it.
she
But
didn't do a good act before like him giving. All she did was tell him, "This is why I'm doing these bad things."
right,
You
this is
know,
why I'm
like,
doing these bad things.
But she didn't.
say, and I'm sorry, here's Forky back.
There was no
and I'm not gonna-"
repentance. Like
right.
really,
That's
there
that's
was
the
just,
weird word that I
all there
use,
was
yes.
an explanation. Like, no, see, this is why. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're not so bad.
Yeah. No, really, you are though, because you're forcing this. Like, if it wasn't forced, I really think that was a tiny little thing that could have just changed, and it would have been. I would have been happy with Gabby Gabby and what Woody chose to give up his voice box. If Gabby would have just said like, look, Woody, like here's Forky back. Like, I just wanted what you had. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I know that would have been kind of weird and out of character, but if somehow we could have got to that point, then it would have made Woody's sacrifice even more selfless. Like, you know what? I'm going to give this to you now. Instead of like, you know what? If I don't give this to you now, you're probably going to take it anyways. And
right. It
I'll
should have
never
been
get
like
Forky
Woody
back.
should have had a complete choice.
Mhm.
Like almost like a thing where he could have kept walking away, but instead he turns around.
Right.
Instead, no, he's
That
back.
would have
He's
been
backed
really
into
nice.
a corner. And it's like
Right. That would have been really nice, actually. If
Toy
Woody had a complete
Toy
choice.
Insanity said that her happy ending wasn't earned, and that's
Pixar posts.
Pixar posts
And a few other people did too.
and a few other people agree with what exactly?
With that, it wasn't earned.
Her happy ending
Mhm.
Yeah.
with the other kid. Well,
well in that particular
in
moment,
that
yeah, she
particular
did a
moment,
good thing
she
there.
did a good
sure.
thing there, but she was just doing it because Woody was telling her exactly what to do, and Bo-Peep were telling her exactly what to do. Also, winner chicken dinner will never be funny to me. I don't find that funny. It's just not funny.
So
That's just
something
not
else I
funny.
wanted to say was more about the whole movie as a whole, and how it like why it doesn't really feel like as great as like the first three. I mean, of course, these are things that we're saying, but like things that we were saying like after the first time we saw it or whatever was like this movie didn't. It was missing like. First of all, it was missing a really good climax like the other three movies.
Right.
Like
We were just talking about this before we started, but
like it didn't have that edge of your seat like, oh man, like yeah, like oh,
I thought a lot about this before we went in, if I could just interrupt really quick.
Mhm.
Like in 3, like I remember watching Toy Story 3 for the first and second, even the third time, and like I was so excited and I wanted to cheer when the claw comes and grabs him and saves him. And I'm like, okay, this time, who cares? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna cheer in this exciting moment. And it never came. Like
The closest thing to a cheer moment is Duke Kaboom's
is
jump.
Duke's jump.
Um,
But it was again a joke. Like he smashed his head and I laughed. But like
and yeah, I mean, yeah, like
I
comparing it to the climaxes of the other three. I guess you could also say the climax is also the Bonnie's toys, get in the car.
That's-
okay,
yeah.
but even that was like played for laughs. A lot of it.
Right. Which that's why I had to remember just today thinking about it, like this is just not just, but it is supposed to be a comedy, a romantic comedy first, and it just didn't feel earned like the level of Toy Story where it like where's the adventure here? Like
right,
driving a car.
It's
I
just
like
not
what you said
as
about driving a car.
It's not. Well, yeah. So I was talking about my brother, and he had some good points that like it just shows how good the first
Great,
two
the other-
movies, even 3 movies, but
even 3,
even
but
just the
just 1 and
even
2.
honestly, even just the first Toy Story, man, like it is a hard. How do you make the 4th movie after doing so many awesome things in just the first movie alone? Like, you know, they took the toy. That's what my brother was saying. Was like they didn't like, you know, in the first 3 movies, like they have fun with the toy elements of things, you know, like they go to places like, you know, Toy Story 1, you see like, you know, we see mutant toys, we see, you know, stuck in a claw machine, you know, we see like.
So you were telling me that like pretty much almost everything that they do in 4 was done already, only better in the other 3.
Yeah.
Can
So
you kind of explain that a little?
yeah. So right. So like in number 4, okay, so we see them fighting a cat or whatever. Okay, cool. Well, we've already seen that like with Scud, and that was like even more epic and more intense. You know, like this
Scud's
crazy
actually scary to
mean
people.
dog. Yeah, right. You know, we see him like like at the end, they're they're getting Bonnie's dad to, you know, drive to the thing. Okay, yeah, that was kind of cool. But number 2, we saw them drive a truck, like, you know, like
in traffic.
Like it was one of the greatest scenes of any movie, and you know, so we've seen it only cooler,
way more exciting.
We've seen him go to a place, you know, we've seen Buzz end up in a place where you win a toy, but it was in a claw machine, which is even cooler, you know, like
cooler than strapped up on it.
Yeah, even cooler than just strapped up. So I was like, I just feel like, yeah, like there just wasn't.
There wasn't a big moment that I was waiting for and really
Right.
hoping for.
Nothing that could even come close to like the chase scene at the end of number 1 or the airport scene in number 2.
Oh yeah, the airport scene.
And like this just didn't have that moment really where you
where I was
where you're
really
just,
into it and excited
and you're all
edgy
shaking
scenes.
and yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing. If like we actually do have to wrap up eventually here, is like I just left feeling like a little sad because like 1, 2, and 3 like are my favorite movies ever, and like I was for a second there I was really thinking like, is 4 gonna be my 4th favorite movie ever? Like it could, and then just leaving them. I'm like I wouldn't even put it up among my top Pixar movies. It's down my pyramid somewhere. I made a pyramid of favorites. Yeah, if you want to hear all my favorite movies, you can listen to a different episode of the podcast. I need to figure out where it falls because just by default being Toy Story, it's got so many great things. Like I still like all the characters, well, all the good characters, all the original characters I still like, but they just didn't do what I hoped.
Yeah, like
it did about what I expected. We said this in our short review, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like the exact moment where the movie like kind of dips down a little bit is right after everything was like, I think, really great, and then after the montage, and then after Woody's talk with Forky on the road, and then Forky realizes it and he goes, "Bonnie, I'm coming."
That was really exciting.
You stop there, like, you know, yeah, and then the next thing is, you know, like the antique shop, and that's where
the real plot.
Right, I know the real plot, and yeah, so and kind of like Toy Story 3, like I mean, as far as like there wasn't a whole lot of locations in this movie. Just going back to the fact that, you know, like you compare it to like the first 2 movies, it just seemed like a smaller scale,
but which is strange because 1 pretty much takes place in 2 rooms with some short little breaks in other places.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
that's why we could film it. Like we couldn't have done any of the other movies except maybe this one. Like this one afterwards, like we could actually make this.
It'd be hard to get some of the.
It'd be hard to get some.
You'd have to go to an actual carnival and like ask to use some rides. But
easy
like,
peasy.
Yeah.
We're not.
Right. So to be the 4th movie, you know, in like the series like of adventures and stuff, and to probably have like the smallest like adventure out of all of them, that's kind of like that's not
a little bit of a letdown.
That's a letdown. Yeah.
The other thing is it was
that they couldn't match like, you know, the heights of like one's way
of the previous movies, and it was advertised as a road trip, like and road trip movies are great. Like a real road trip movie. I mean, Trains, Planes, and Automobiles, or Goofy movie even. Like we get to see so many places, and it's just so fun. Like you're never in the same place twice. Like you got the diners, you got the flying down the road.
Toy Insanity.
Toy Insanity.
Said, did they even see anything on the road trip?
Do we see anything on the road
They
trip?
just
The
showed
toys?
just a few snapshot shots. But
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really call it a road trip movie. It's just like it's a road trip,
So
and then Woody jumps out of the
house.
car, and then let's catch up with them at their first pit stop. It's like
Right.
it should just be Pit Stop the movie.
Right.
It's a pit stop movie
Mm.
with a little carnival that they really didn't like explore enough. I feel like the antique shop took up a lot of it.
This is a little bit off topic, but I felt like it was a little strange how daring the toys are in this movie.
Yeah,
like
that was another thing.
Like
I wanted to say.
there are so many people, and I like that there's a lot of people. I even said this when I was a guest on the Pixar Post podcast. Is like I'm excited that there's a lot of people, and they got to be super sneaky. They were barely sneaking at all. They were running across tops of umbrellas and like bouncing off of things. Like are you telling me that? And even in Bonnie's room, like every time they like turn around, they move. Like they would never do that in it.
Right.
Like,
or Buzz was like clicking his button as soon as she turned around.
and how does he even see that she turns around? The dad was holding Buzz, right?
No, it was.
Oh, it was Bonnie's
Dad was-
mom. Yeah,
he was behind the wheel.
Dad was driving.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you're right.
So
Yeah,
it was a little too far.
A little bit
Like,
of a stretch.
and of course, Buzz like talks, which that's funny. I know we've seen that in number 1 with like hands. Okay, sure, but it's like they wouldn't stop being daring in this one. Like they kept pushing it. Like
Right.
I feel like, and yeah,
It did feel like a little bit of a stretch how much they were willing to just run out into the open, or just like you're being sneaky. But how many kids are here right now? Like. And you tell me you looked everywhere and you see that nobody's there. Like, I don't know. It just seemed like a lot more than normal. So I don't know. I think as a whole, I do want to.
I know it's like it sounds like we're ripping it apart so much.
I'm ripping it apart because
but
because like I said, like Toy Story could be a perfect movie. A Toy Story movie could be in my mind, in my rankings. Like I put 1 and 2 100% perfect. Like I wouldn't change a single thing about it, and I can't say that about hardly any other movies at all. Like I wouldn't change a single thing. But because there were just so many things that I felt should have been different, I came in having like so many hopes for it. Not necessarily expectations.
Not
but
expectations,
hopes.
but just like hopes. Yeah. Yeah.
Then like that's I got a lot of things I would have changed. With that said, I still think it's a good movie, which is weird to say. Like we just said so many bad things about it. I still think it's a good movie.
It shows how great, like, yeah, I mean, yeah, even with all these things, it's still a movie that I enjoyed, and I'm gonna watch it again, and I'm still gonna smile when I watch it. Like,
right. I think,
but
if the others didn't exist, then I probably would like it more.
Right.
But I also probably wouldn't even categorize it as any sort of favorite. Right. If the others didn't exist at all, like it definitely it's helped by having characters that I already like. And for the most part, everyone stayed in character. And it's hard. It felt like it had a lot of writers and it went through a lot of changes, which it did. So that's just, that's kind of my thoughts. And that's about all I have to say. And we pretty much went straight on our amount of time for a podcast, a normal podcast. Jesse, what else do you want to say? What else do you want to say? Summarize, or did I say exactly what you were going to say? We don't have to agree on everything, by the way. We don't always agree on stuff.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
What would you do in 5? Should there be 5? That's what a lot of people who haven't even seen it yet is like, is there going to be 5? And I'd say maybe they'll retcon this and
or you'd have to do some weird coincidence to get Woody back with the gang, or what, they're just going to only focus on Woody and his new life or something.
Right. They just need to get rid of Buzz, basically. They don't like him anymore. I don't know. That is a joke. In our podcast, we joke a little more than in a normal YouTube video for all you guys who are just joining us here. And I hope you listen to all the others. we can take a couple comments, but we're gonna cut the podcast. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds like a good plan.
Bye, everybody on podcast.
Goodbye to the podcast.
And we're back now. We're
Yes,
really
hello.
here on YouTube for a little bit. We're not gonna stay very long. I'm sorry. It's.
I think that was pretty much everything I wanted to say. I was trying to remember.
Is there topics we want to talk about from comments, Kim?
Yeah. If you want to comment something that you were really trying to tell us that slipped through the cracks, you can comment it.
Just
we're reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reading it. So
Pixar post earlier. It said, what's your favorite order of the movies?
Favorite order of the movies? Pixar post?
Yeah, for Toy Story. Favorite.
Just the Toy Stories?
Yeah.
Oh, it goes 1, 2, and 3 for me. And the only reason 1 is above 2 is because you can't really have 2 without 1.
mm,
And we spent 2 years straight, basically, like looking at every single
I know.
shot. So
yeah, I guess I'd agree. Like, there were days where I would say 2 in front of 1, and I can never settle. There's so many things about 2 that I just really love. Like, just because I really love like the secondary characters like Slinky and Potato Head and those guys, and I just so a lot of my favorite scenes with those guys are in number 2, except Slinky of course has the best scene in number 1. So that's the thing is, no matter number 1 has the chase scene, and it's so that kind of just you just can't.
Moment.
Yeah, well, or just it's more exciting than the airport scene. So
I like for a second here I could talk about Maddox says, I don't know if we said this, but Woody felt like he wasn't in charge anymore. We talked about that a little bit, but I feel like Woody's he's already learned that he doesn't have to be in charge. And that's, I mean, yeah, there's some of that learning going on in this movie too, but like, you don't have to be in charge, guys. I mean, not just Woody. I'm just saying, like, as a lesson to learn. Like, you're not in charge. Go find somewhere where you will be in charge. Your own life, you're in charge of that at least. I don't know. I don't think that's just a lesson worth learning. But that's just me. Pixar post questions keeps getting picked to Mikey because Kim likes the comments.
No, because they're the ones that are posting most relevant questions.
They're posting the relevant stuff.
Or have you played the Sega and Nintendo Toy Story games?
Oh yeah,
Says Captain Autism.
I played the game.
I had the Sega Genesis Toy Story game.
I didn't play Nintendo. I played on the PC.
No, yeah, I have fond memories of it.
You put the music from it in our Harold movie short.
No, you're thinking that was
different.
That was the PlayStation.
Oh, well,
that was Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue. They're talking about Sega, the old. Yeah.
Is that different? I'm talking about the 2D scroller where it's just Woody jumping.
That's not the music I use in Harold.
Yeah, it is. I've heard that music before.
You mean yeah? That's not from the old 2D side scroller. That's from Buzz. That's from the PlayStation 3D Buzz.
Toy Story 2?
Yeah, Toy Story 2, Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue.
Oh, whatever. I played that one too.
Okay, I know. It wasn't the Sega one.
It was on PC though.
What's your villains though? A few people asked about villains. Who's your favorite worst villain
of which movies? Toy Story movies?
Of all of them, yeah.
All the Toy Story?
So Sid, Al.
Yeah, Sid, Al, Lotso.
Gabby, Lotso.
Gabby. I like the mutants but they're kind of more like a Gabby Gabby. Like they're not really evil.
Right.
And I like Sid a lot. I like Sid. But I also like our Sid, so if I was gonna rank all of the Toy Stories, I'd put 1, 2, 3, ours, and then 4 is 5th. I enjoy watching that's the official ranking. I just have more fun with the older characters, and just like I'm not confused. I shouldn't be confused. If there was a point, and people have said maybe we're missing the point. Like if I'm missing the point, like it wasn't very clear because. Like, I feel like I'm your target audience right here. I don't know. We didn't talk about Tinny. I liked that he was in it.
Yeah,
it was about time he was in a Toy Story movie.
Well, that goes back to like Easter eggs and stuff. They were all great, you know.
Right. How did we say it?
How do we say what?
The Easter eggs don't make a great.
We gotta finish that phrase, man.
You can't make an egg salad without Easter eggs.
Do you guys think that Sid was a carnival dude?
Oh no, Sid was
no, you mean
the
the
Pizza
Pizza
Planet
Planet.
driver.
Oh, that was one thing we didn't. Well, yeah, going back to Easter eggs. Okay,
Somebody said that earlier.
the Pizza Planet truck. If you guys don't already know where it is in the movie, it's a
Spoiler.
It's a tattoo on the Carney's leg, the main Carney that we see.
The only Carney we see.
Yeah, I guess so. It's like on fire, all cool. The Pizza Planet truck.
We talked about this immediately. The funniest thing is after the second time we watched it, you turned around and you said, "So is that the Pizza Planet truck driver?" And we talked about it for a good 5 minutes. Like, that's the. It's sad that like in Toy Story 2, the truck was like one of the coolest parts. In 1, it was a really funny part, and now 20 years later, whatever it is, it's just kind of become a joke. Like, and it's like I'm just a little sad about it. Like. Who would get a tattoo of this?
Yeah, no one gets a tattoo of the truck they were driving for some temporary, probably,
Part-time,
or just
high school job.
Just like, oh man, I loved my truck when I delivered pizzas with it. Specifically when I delivered pizzas. Like,
right, like if he really was the driver, I don't think he would put the rocket on there, like, or the sign, like he loves his truck, maybe. But the way he treats his truck, he certainly doesn't like it that much. Like, he would have treated it a little better.
It was a little too much. Like, they're trying to make it like the Pizza Planet truck is just for our enjoyment. You don't have to make it like it's some thing now in the actual Pixar universe. Like,
right.
It's like
if people see it in the Pixar universe, they don't go, "Whoa, was that the Pizza Planet truck?"
Right.
No, this is a regular restaurant, and this is a normal driver. It's like seeing a Pizza Hut driver. Like, it's not a big
not as
deal.
stupid as it being an asteroid, but still
No.
kind of.
Yeah, or a wood carving. I mean, the wood carving is like the only way you could do it, but the asteroid, that was strange. If you know what I'm talking about, that's the Good Dinosaur Pizza Planet truck is an asteroid. Yeah. I still thought I saw it in the Good Dinosaur in the background or something, and I was like, that's got to be it right there. And then when it was revealed, I guess, I was like, oh, mine was better.
David Patrick's asking me, what is the one scene in all Toy Stories you like most, is what I'm assuming he's saying. He likes Zurg fighting. Zurg fights Belt Buzz. That's his favorite. I think
you can answer that. And then
well, my favorite specific moment is Slinky during the chase scene in number 1 when he's being stretched out all the way and just I mean
the whole chase scene, but Slinky
specifically starting with Slinky, with his
wow.
Dun, 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 dun. I'll always get the same amount of goosebumps I've had since the first time I watched it. I just love it.
I want to answer this. Pixar Kid Production says, if anything, y'all would have that tattoo. No. As much.
But the thing is, now somebody definitely.
Somebody's gonna do it. I wonder if the California Pizza Planet truck guys, Marco and them. I wonder if he's got it already. I should ask him. Maybe. I feel like so. There's a club on Facebook about the Pizza Planet truck builders. If you didn't already know, if you're gonna build a truck, you could join the group. And I'm just waiting for whoever's gonna do it first. Like, it's gonna be one of those guys who owns one. And not it.
Did you guys notice? Somebody said
Did we notice
that the chair in the closet, Bonnie's closet, was alive?
Oh
yeah, that he was talking.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a face.
So if you have a face,
Oh man, we're getting into
getting into what is a toy and what isn't a toy.
Oh, Pixar. Hold on.
Oh.
Pixar Post says that they asked Marco yesterday, and he doesn't have that tattoo. He doesn't have any tattoos. That's about to change. I'm predicting it now. If it's not him, it's one of the other guys in the group. Anyways, what makes a toy? We did a whole video about this and then decided it was just not very interesting, and we
never posted it. We went
How
deep.
about that for a mystery?
Because the thing is, you just end up going in circles and you never actually answer it, so it just goes on and on. So it's like,
and then Forky goes and throws a fork in it all. And
a spork in it.
You're right. I tweeted something like, I'm surprised nobody said something about Woody being at a fork in the road, like emotionally and physically. Yeah, but no one made that joke.
Well, the Muppets already did.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about like reporters trying to come up with some catchy thing.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like all the reporters who say The Incredibles was incredible. It was bad. I never liked that. I was like, Yeah.
DV's :1 says,
Cole says.
does this make you excited for the Forky series or the Lamplight show that's coming on Disney
Oh,
Plus?
sure. Where did we talk about Forky series? Oh, in the last
in the
episode of
podcast
our
with-
podcast, we talked about all the Disney Plus shows that were coming out.
Yeah.
And I predicted, and I still think I'm right, is that the Forky series is gonna, it's Ask Forky. It's gonna be a kid.
He asks a question and then it cuts to
And then it
like
cuts to-
live action footage of a kid or something.
Kids trying to answer, or
We'll see.
or if it's a real like question with an actual answer that people can agree on, then it'll be adults maybe scientifically answering it or something.
Yeah.
Like learning stuff, like actual learning could happen in that show, but maybe I'm wrong. I like I said, I really liked Forky, so anything more with him, I'm gonna like. I think we're about wrapping up. So thanks all for joining. I think that was fun. Did you guys think it was fun? We can ask these questions. Oh, hey. Check reviews. I'm looking at what if Ducky and Bunny really have laser eyes? It's not.
Thing is that whole joke at the end with them and laser was just to get Keanu Reeves to go whoa.
I know.
So
That was the
really,
only- yeah.
that was the only thing.
That was the only reason for that joke.
Like,
And yeah, that probably was the only reason for that joke. A lot of it was just played for jokes, which I like jokes, but not all of them hit for me. I think all the combat Carls were good. I liked them.
Mm.
I like they brought him back, and I like that they brought back Old Timer, even though it doesn't make sense that he's with Bonnie unless there's another one, which is possible.
well, the thing is,
It's the baby toy.
I was talking to my brother, and like, so does every old timer toy have that exact same voice?
Sure. All the buzzes have the same voice.
So every toy, every Mr. Potato Head would sound like that?
yeah,
It's all the Combat Carls also.
all the combat Carls sound the same.
Right. So it's not just toys that have a voice thing.
Box.
Like even a toy that doesn't have a voice thing, they're all going to have the exact same voice
Yeah.
because they were made like
Yeah.
on the exact. Okay.
Sure.
So
They're
then,
the same guy. They're the same guy. It's
yeah.
a clone.
So then that could be a different old timer.
I don't care.
Well,
That's fine. I just like him. I liked him in the short, and I liked him in this. That one line he said.
now, me and my brother were talking about, and now I can't really remember, like in Hawaiian Vacation, Barbie and Ken, they're not Bonnie's toys. They're at the daycare. So
they're at the
I
daycare.
forgot why are they in Bonnie's room in Hawaiian Vacation?
Because they stowed away in Bonnie's backpack. Remember?
Oh, okay.
We're gonna go to
And
Hawaii.
you thought that Bonnie was going to take her school backpack to Hawaii? I don't know who says that. It sounds like a Dolly thing to say.
Speaking of her backpack, that was something my brother said was like, just too many like coincidences, I guess, in this movie. It was like how did Bonnie leave her backpack at the antique shop? They were only in there for a little bit, and like she took it off. Like when?
We didn't see it.
She just happened to leave her backpack there.
Yeah.
Why did she bring her backpack there? There was nothing in her backpack at the
Except-
time. Was there?
Was there nothing? There's her notebook or whatever.
Just anyway.
Yeah, and it's the same. Why would she take her school backpack to on a vacation? You really think she's? Well, she did. She's had. We've seen 3 backpacks owned by Bonnie, which I guess sounds like a girl. I guess is what Kim says. She has the really cool Buzz Lightyear spaceship backpack in Toy Story That Time Forgot.
And then we were getting deep talking about like
You and your brother.
my brother, yeah, like Bullseye. The toys that can't talk.
The toys that can't talk.
What?
Yeah.
There is no consistent rule with that. It's like why does Bullseye act like that, but Buttercup can just talk?
Well, it's because Bullseye is based on a character that doesn't talk. It's got to be. Right? He doesn't talk in the show, so his toy doesn't talk.
Okay.
Buttercup doesn't have a show, or he does, and he talks. Right?
Okay.
That's got to be.
Okay.
That seems like my answer. I'm sticking to that. Anyways.
But then, like, the dog, unless he just didn't talk, the dog that was hanging on the thing, some toys just, maybe they're just choosing not to talk in that moment.
Well, Potato Head chose not to talk quite a bit in this movie, which is kind of out of character for him. He'd usually be the one with
He's
the
the only
clip.
one that gets an actual excuse for not talking that much, though.
Well, yeah, but There's got to be more than that.
And that's what kind of takes away from like, that's what made it this ending like
less satisfying than
less emotional too. Like, you know, when Woody looks at all the gang
and
for
it
that
really
goodbye,
is
like
all the
we
gang.
already saw that shot of like all the gang, bye guys, and it was more emotional because that movie, the gang was there the entire time.
Right.
These guys barely said a word, and now it's like,
Wait, goodbye.
like bye. Like, I'm sorry, I just don't feel it because we barely saw these toys.
Yeah.
It would have actually been more sad. You could have actually done something where Woody does say goodbye to Bo Peep a second time, and that would have been
more sad because we just spent a whole movie with them together.
Right.
Maybe.
But
and there's no reason why she couldn't have just Woody wouldn't have said like the same thing he said to Jesse. Come with me. Like,
I don't know. You could have easily. And you know what's so sad? It was like Ducky and Bunny. But they didn't end up. Why did they like they?
They saved all the other toys. Why didn't they just jump up there and
or something or like?
Because they still do want a kid.
Yeah.
It was for the joke, at the end. It was for the whoa. Anyways, I think we're done. Unless there's something else you wanted to throw out there, Kim.
No, we're not the guys that were the kids in real life Toy Story. We were behind the scenes of that.
Whoa.
We're not. Yeah, you barely. I mean,
Jesse's in it. I'm in it too.
Yeah, like in the background, but
I drove the truck. I wasn't that little.
Yeah, we weren't the kids. We were just the ones that made the movie. We filmed it, and we were the toys.
But it is kind of strange that you could almost go past for Sid, and I could almost pass for him. And so I want to have those kids on the show, on our normal show. So we'll try. You guys should all say right now how much you want them on the show, and then I'll tell them that there were so many people that wanted to see them. Okay, I think that's about it for tonight. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll talk to you guys probably soon. I mean, there's going to be another video up.
Yeah.
I don't know what exactly is next because this whole weekend just was focused on like
maybe some kind of celebration video.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Okay, I'm not leaving. I was kidding. Just kidding.
You know what? Why are we still talking in these mics?
I don't know. That was awesome. I don't know. The thing that I like best about Toy Story 4 isn't even the movie. It has nothing to do with the movie. It's that I could get to see it with Peter, my 2-year-old boy, who really loved it. I mean, he just likes going to the theater, and he likes all those characters. That was great. That, and now there's how many? 10 or 20,000 more people who have just found our movie for the first time and our channel for the first time.
Right.
They, people are searching Toy Story and it's popping up, and so you're here. So if some of you guys are here right now, thank you.
So
and
Toy Story 4 was warranted.
Was worth it. It was totally worth it.
Well, it was, yeah, and it was warranted just to give us the bump.
Right. To give us that bump. The Toy Story 4 bump. I think if they do another, I hope it's in another 10 years. Because that was a nice wait.
And yeah.
It felt like the world needed it. Another to be reminded of how good the old
All I know
ones
is
are
if there's
again.
ever another one, just do something other than the toys are lost and they're getting back to their owner.
Well, they obviously don't care about getting back to their own anymore.
Right.
So what is this movie gonna be?
Yeah.
I don't think they'll do it. I don't think they'll do it. But it could happen again. All right, thanks guys. I'll see you later. Are you done saying things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye. Thanks, guys.